Welcome to week 5 of the Three Rivers Challenge. So if you're not participating, I hope you'll still stay tuned because I have a lot of great use it up recipes that might benefit you as well. Welcome again to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much to all my returning. So y'all, today's the day. I need to use up some things that are in my refrigerator that I've shared with you early on in the pantry challenge. Now I realize you won't be seeing this until what would be week 6 if you continue the pantry challenge on into February, which I plan to do. Fingers crossed, right? So I've been through my pantry, I've been through my refrigerators, doing pretty good on my freezers and on my canning jars. But I was like, you know what? I really need to use up these pretzels. So what actually happened was, only me. I did this last year, I think, too. I bought the little mini pretzels, and this is just a gallon glass jar from Azure. This is the half gallon, so we're gonna be using both of those. I bought them twice before I cleaned out my little pantry. It is so nice to be able to actually see what is in there. So I thought, well, you know, I really don't want honey mustard pretzels. I like them. It's not that I don't like them, but I've made them so many times and I wanted something kind of different. So I spent yesterday looking at all the recipes. Y'all, what did we do before the internet? Well, hang on, these are stuck together. Okay, so I came up with 2 garlic ranch pretzels and just seasoned pretzels, and I think they're going to be really good. So what I've done is I've preheated my oven. It's heating to 270, so when you hear her holler, it's just preheating. I think I am going to do the garlic ranch first, and I can use the same measuring cups, etc. One of the things about the seasoned pretzels, it says buy the great big ones and break them into pieces. Well, I'm quite sure the little ones will work too. Imagine that, y'all. I have the hiccups. So the break it into pieces says do it at 200 for an hour. The garlic ranch for the little pretzel says 270 for 20 minutes, and I think that sounds much more realistic, but we can always go longer if they're not ready. So the first thing you need is a half a cup of oil. Now this recipe comes from Eating on a Dime, and it says canola or coconut oil is best. Y'all, I'm gonna stick with my avocado oil because that's what works for me the best. It's a very neutral oil. It doesn't impart a lot of flavor. I think, if you've read the research, I think canola oil, bad. So I'm not gonna do that. So to that, we need to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to use granulated garlic. So it's just granulated instead of powdered. I think, it smells good. I think the flavor is better. And I'm gonna do maybe a generous teaspoon. Guys, this could not be easier. A packet of ranch dressing mix, which I had in the pantry. You know, one of the best things I did was clean out my little pantry because I was really shocked at how much double buying I've been doing because I thought I was out of it or I couldn't find it. And then what happens, and this is just a me thing, guys, but it gets pushed to the back and it's not a super duper good thing. Hold on, I'm gonna get this whiskey thing, my twist whisk. think this might work better. And you just whisk this up. Now, it says to use a baggie and, you know, like smoosh them around in the baggie. I'm not wasting a baggie for that. No, I am not. I'm going to use a bowl. I'm sure it will work fine. So, I think this is probably a little bit more than 2 pounds of pretzels. You know what? Let's weigh them out. Let's just do that. It's early. I still have energy. I'm off of the medicine that makes me so sick. But y'all, I couldn't drink coffee when I was on that medicine. So now I've gotten my coffee down to just a cup, and then I'm like done with it. So that's actually like a good thing. So let's tear our bowl. I'm just curious. Because do I remember how big the bags were? Why no. No, I do not. So, okay. Oh yeah, this is probably... Okay. You know what, guys? We're going to eyeball it. Because that says it's 10 ounces. That's good. That'll be good. Let's push this back. Now, I'm going to give this garlic ranch. It smells really good. A really good whisk up. Oops. Slop a little on the counter. Oh, gosh. Well, there we go. I really like this twist whisk because it also kind of works as a spatula. Or as I often forget and call it a spatula. And let's just give those a good toss. It might not be good for tossing. Ow. Messy, messy, messy. So I'm hoping Frankie will take a nap because I have a lot of things I want to do today. Yeah, this weather's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I am wearing one of my Love and Faith sweatshirts and a pair of sweatpants, which, pardon my hitching them up, kind of nice when your pants are baggy. Haven't had that in a lot of years. And this is one of their Valentine's ones, and it says, Love never fails, 1 Corinthians 13:8. So I'll leave the link in the description box below. If you use my code, and it's your first time ordering, you get a discount. I believe it's $15 off an order of $15 off an order of 25 or more. And then I will also get a credit towards your future purchase. Just, you know, in full disclosure, don't order unless you really want them. I am wearing a medium, guys, and I have always, I already got something on myself. I have always worn a large, but in the sweatshirt, just so you know, the larges, if you're short like I am, are really long. They're like mid-thigh. So this is plenty roomy. I wash everything in cold water. They're a polycotton blend, so they really don't shrink. I hang dry because I'm cheap and I don't want to run my dryer. Y'all, that smells pretty good. So they're nice and coated. So I'm going to do both batches at once in the oven just to save electricity. So let's go ahead and spread these out. I'm sure you can't see what I'm doing, but that's okay. It's not that mysterious. I'm really excited about the second kind. I mean, ranch, good. Everybody loves ranch. It does say do a single layer. I'm gonna go single layer-ish because I don't have room for 4 cookie sheets in my, or cookie trays in my oven. I do have a Montessil pad. It says you can do them on parchment paper as well, because I imagine they would get a little sticky. I could see that. So there we have it. See how glistening they are? So let me set these aside. And let's go on to our second. Now our second, interesting enough, calls for more oil. I don't know if that's because they're saying break the pretzels, so you're gonna have like a raw open end that's gonna absorb it, and that's also why the baking time is longer. but that's not what I have. It calls for 3/4 cup of oil. I'm not going to add that. I'm going to add a half with a little bit because, as you saw, it covers it a gracious plenty. So maybe a tablespoon or two over the half cup. The next thing is 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. So these are definitely, they're called seasoned pretzels, but they're definitely going to be spicier. And I'm gonna do them heaping because I love garlic. Then it calls for 2 teaspoons of dried dill weed. Guys, I didn't grow dill last year. I had to break down and buy, not during the pantry challenge, but I was kind of surprised at myself because dill is one of the things that I really enjoy. I like it on fish. Anybody else jonesing for spring? I certainly am. I started to tell you about our weather. I will in a minute. And then it calls for 1 1/2 tablespoons of lemon pepper. So this is Kingsford, so it's a grilling thing, all-purpose seasoning, Caribbean citrus with a kick. It's lemon pepper. I've never used it before, so let's give it a smell. Oh wait, yes I have. Smells like pepper. So what did I say? 1 1/2 tablespoons. Ooh, that got a little hard. And whoever gave me the tip about putting the rice in the salt, thank you for that. Have I done it? No, but I'm gonna actually taste this before I add a 1.5 tablespoons. Where's my whiskey thing? Y'all are probably screaming, it's right there. Well, holy moly, what did I do with it? Oh, well, we'll just use a spatula. Oh, it's over there. Okay. It's okay. Dirty all the dishes. I don't mind washing dishes. That's pretty darn good, guys. I am going to add the full amount. So, 1.5 tablespoons. It's got a nice little lemony zing to it. I know several of you said you were going to make the blueberry lemon bread, and I can't remember if I said in the video, you could totally do it with sugar and regular milk if you don't want to do sugar-free. You know, I have obviously been an avoider of a lot of artificial sweeteners, but in my current situation, I can't do that. I have to be smart and use the sugar substitute. So I do think there is an art and a science to learning to cook sugar-free. I don't think it is as straightforward as I thought it would be. One of the things I've noticed when you use, and you know, y'all kept saying it was stevia. I think it's Splenda that I was using. But at any rate, it gets, your bread products are drier, a little less moist, and it gets a little bit crunchier on the top. So I'm going to play with that. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming video for sure. Okay. Yeah, I think these are going to be a hit. Now, am I going to eat all these at once, you ask? Why, no, I'm not. While they're sugar-free, they're still a carb. And they're higher in fat once you add the oil. But rather than to just waste these pretzels, I'm going to make them up. If I decide not to eat them all, neighbors, lock your doors. I'll come a-running. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this smells really good, y'all. I'm kind of, ooh. Pretzels overboard. Kind of excited to try these. Now it does say on some recipes, I've seen it'll say stir them partway through. So what I plan to do is set my timer for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to go ahead and stir them because they aren't strictly in a single layer. I just think it'll come out a little better. Let's get all the goodies out of the bowl. I would think this would make an interesting add to a savory Chex Mix as well. I actually don't have nuts for Chex Mix, or I might try that because I do have some Chex. All right, into the oven we go. I'll bring you back for our next project. Stay tuned. Time for our second project. So it's time to start dealing with the fruit that's in my refrigerator that I haven't eaten that I don't want to waste. So one of the things is I have 6 grapefruit. Now these grapefruit don't look great. Every time they've been bumped around in their lifetime, it's left a mark. And I was very concerned about this one. But y'all, it smells fresh and amazing. So it's a very thick skinned peel. So what I'm using over here is my mother's 1950 Juice King. So you could pull the skin off and run it through a juicer. This is actually an orange juicer. I'm probably being overly ambitious here. Let's cut it into a quarter. Probably flatten a little better. Oh, I baptized myself. So go slow. But I figure why not juice them? So I bought the grapefruit before the pantry challenge. So in December. This is January 29th. And I really thought that I would eat them because I love grapefruit. However, with the side effects and the nausea that I was having from the medication, y'all, I could not do that. I just could not. Nah, wasn't happening. Not gonna happen. Let me get a little garbage. Woo! I still haven't emptied my compost bucket. Hang on. The bag will empty into the compost bin just as easily as the compost bucket, so we'll take that out. Citrus is something that you don't feed your chickens, so might as well compost it and turn it into garden fertilizer. So back to the weather, man, I am all over the place today. Yeah, it's cold and it's gonna snow tomorrow. I don't mind it in the 40s. To me, that's not very cold. But we have had so much rain. And back in 1978, last week was the week of the 1978 blizzard. But it was quite an event. You know, our schools were closed for about 2 weeks. It's the largest snowfall on record for Ohio at one time. And the funny thing was they didn't have, you know, in 78, they didn't have the forecasting models and such that we have now. So they just thought it would be, you know, snow. And it snowed and it snowed and it snowed. And then the next day it snowed and snowed. And then it blew. Then it snowed some more. So it was quite a mess. I was a junior in high school when it hit. So, yeah, do the math. You'll know how old I am. All right, I'm going to keep on squeezing. These are not the juiciest grapefruit I've ever seen, but I'm getting juice. Let me go stir our pretzels. I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, I can't say it's a ton of juice, but you know what? It's more juice than I had, right? And those grapefruit will provide lots of vitamin C, so let's give it a taste. Now, if you like your grapefruit juice sweetened, you could certainly do it. Cheers, guys. And these were pink grapefruit. Wow, that's good. Freshly squeezed grapefruit juice is so much better than store purchased. I don't know, maybe I'm a grapefruit juice snob, but it's very, very tasty. Pardon me. So I put this into my mother's pitcher, which is an Atlas glass pitcher back from the 50s. So my parents did collect a lot of antiques and vintage items throughout their marriage, primarily after we kids were grown and gone. So the things that I found that I kept that meant the most to me were the things I remember my mother using. So let's take a look at our pretzels. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll fix that in a minute. So, yeah, that's cool enough. Interestingly enough, the ranch seemed doner faster, and it could be some of the additives, but they're nicely coated. So let's give this one a taste. Wow. Very ranchy. It's good. The reason I didn't want to do the honey mustard is, even though honey is a natural sugar, I'm trying not to make my go-to snack be sweet in any way, shape, or form. All right, the dill, lemon, pepper, garlic pretzels, I left it an additional 5 minutes because they didn't seem as crunchy. So let's try this. Wow, those are good. I get the lemon. Could be used more dill. Live and learn, right? All right, y'all. I'm gonna wait for these to cool. I'm gonna store them in the airtight jars in my pantry for snacking. Put my grapefruit juice up. I've washed my dishes. I'm gonna wait for those to air dry. Take a little rest. It'll be time to let the chickens out here shortly. It's 20 till 8. It's still pretty dark. I don't like to let them out until it's pretty late. So we'll do that, and then I'll bring you back and we'll see what we're going to get into, because I'm not rightly sure. All right, guys, stay tuned.
Morning, girly girls. Is you ready to get out and play? Yeah? Well, come on with it. Hello, Fancy Ray. Come on, Miss Marigold. Get the lad out. Come on, Jolene. And Violet. Come on, Miss Violet. Yes, that's a good girl. All right, Jolene, you're still having breakfast. Okay, we'll let you stay.
All continuing on with our snacks during the pantry challenge. That's going to be the theme of this video. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to do today. And while the grapefruit juice wasn't a snack, it was something that needed to be done. I've gone back and forth on, do I want a can today? But I think I'll do that tomorrow. So one of the things that I absolutely love is hummus. And as I was going through, I have just like a third or quarter of a jar of tahini, which you will need. And we'll open these and make sure they're good. I have some chickpeas, great value chickpeas, $2.22. Now I have some that aren't past their best by date, and this is a pop top, so I'm not really sure, but it's not quite 2 years out of the y'all. I find that most things that have a best by date, it's like a suggestion. Now, occasionally you'll open something and it doesn't smell right, or it doesn't look right, or you know, like a green bean is not green anymore, and so you want to divest yourself of that. But what you will need, and this was from inspiredtaste.net, and I'll leave links to all the recipes below. A 15-ounce can of chickpeas, a quarter cup of fresh lemon juice, so 1 large lemon or 2 medium or small, a quarter cup of well-stirred tahini, and tahini is just sesame seed paste, 1 small clove of garlic minced, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, half a teaspoon ground cumin, salt to taste, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water or aquafaba. So what is aquafaba? It's the liquid out of the beans. Here's the thing to know. Have I made hummus that was way too salty? Why, yes, I have. So if your chickpeas, and these contain salt, you may want to taste that aquafaba or the liquid before just blindly adding it, because you can end up with too salty of a hummus. I also prefer to use fresh chickpeas, dried chickpeas, and soak them. But y'all, I need to get through some of these cans that are past their best by date. And then you can cover it with a little paprika or whatever. Drizzle it, pardon me, with a little olive oil. I knew that was coming, guys, sorry. Okay, so let's get going. According to this article, recipe, the key to really good hummus is the order in which you add things. Who knew? So the first thing I did was I stirred my tahini really, really well, because it will separate out and have a layer of oil on top, which you don't want. So it says, in a bowl of a food processor, combine tahini and lemon juice and process for 1 minute. So tahini, we need what did I say? 1/4 cup. Okay. So we're gonna start there. And just because tahini is super thick, I am gonna spray my cup a little. Oh, you're just annoying everything. Make sure your sprayers turn the right way. So let me put about a 1/4 cup of that in here. And this still smells really good. I do make homemade hummus kind of on the regular, so this will give me enough. I can do at least one more batch. Get stirred up in there, yeah. I do have people ask me, can you make it without the tahini? I never have, so I really can't give you a recommendation there. As always, if I want to know something and I can't find it anywhere referred to a recipe like that, I just do it. If it isn't good, it isn't good. Pardon me. Okay, so we have our 1/4 cup of tahini. And then y'all, I don't have a juicer, like a hand squeezy juicer. So, wow, did I ever make a mess on the jar? I'm just gonna try squeezing this by hand. From our lemon blueberry muffins, I still have this lemon minus the zest. So we're gonna start with that. And I do like flavor of the lemon. I think it adds a lot of brightness. So I'm going to add, since I have lemons, I did roll these on the counter first, but I'm gonna go ahead, don't need the seed, and add the juice of 2 lemons because they are small. And then I will process it for 1 minute. Scrape the bowl, process for 30 seconds. So I'm going to eliminate that part in the video because honestly, guys, you don't need to hear all that. Roll this a little bit more. That does help your lemon release the juice. And if you don't have a squeezer, I just pick the seeds out and I'm just throwing them in the sink, not on the floor. Okay. All right, guys, this is like painful to watch, I'm sure. And I see 2 seeds, 3 seeds. Let me fish out the seeds. Get the lemon squeezed, blend it for a minute, scrape it, blend it for 30 seconds. We'll come go on to our next step. I have opened and I'm gonna drain the chickpeas well. And y'all, this little plastic thing is like a 98 center at Walmart. Really handy. They smell amazing. They smell fresh. So I am taking out the aquafaba. I am gonna taste it to see how salty it is. It's not too salty. Okay, Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So the lemon juice will kind of brighten the mixture because there's a lot of oily type things with the tahini and the olive oil. Get all of that goodness out. I don't want to dribble it. We need a clove of minced garlic. Y'all, I found this rolling around in my refrigerator. It's my last clove of homegrown garlic. And it's good. But I have more growing already. Then we need a ½ teaspoon of cumin. And y'all, of course, you can alter these any way you want to as far as your taste, more or less. So olive oil, minced garlic, cumin, and ½ teaspoon of salt. And I am going to use the Redmond salt. That will be just fine. So, more processing. So we're going to process this for 30 seconds, scrape it down, process again. So I'll bring you back. All right, we're going to follow this to the T. Oh, it smells so good. So now it says add half the chickpeas. So let's put in about half the can. And process for a minute, scrape, then add the remaining chickpeas, process for another 1 to 2. So I'll bring you back when all the chickpeas are in. Oh, I might have tasted it. It's fabulous. So what you're gonna have right now, let me just show you, is a very, very thick, pasty, non-hummus-like substance. So here's where you wanna add either your cold water or your aquafaba till it gets, which is the liquid from the beans. Oops. There we go. Until it gets to the texture that you like. If you like it softer, more liquid, thicker, less liquid. So I'm going to do this while it's running. I will bring you back when I've got all of this mixed up. And we have one more treat we're going to be making. So stay tuned. I am super excited. So I just put some smoked paprika. It makes about 1.5 cups. So let's try the dilly lemon pepper ones first. I want to see how it tastes on a pretzel. You all have to try this hummus recipe. It's advertised as better than store-bought, definitely. I think it would be even better made with home rehydrated chickpeas, but it is really good. It's not too salty for me. I ended up adding the full 3 tablespoons, and it's still nice and thick. So good. Okay, put the lid on it, Kym. So it's still a bit early. I have one more Ninja Creamy recipe I want to bring to you. It's like the easiest recipe ever. But another thing that, if you have a Ninja Creamy, I want to share the cookbook and share what I'm trying this time. And I also found a source for less expensive creamy containers that I'll share with you as well. So I hope you'll stay tuned. It'll be just a moment.
Excuse me, ladies. What are you doing on the deck? They've been knocking on the door. It's very chilly today. It's, as you can see on the deck, there's a little bit of sleep, but they know they're not allowed to be on the deck. Look at Fancy Ray leading the pack. Here she's coming to knock. I see you. They're like, yeah, we're not afraid of you, Mom.
All right, y'all. So just because we're in the pantry challenge doesn't mean you can't have treats if you're kind of creative and look to see what you have in your pantry. So my Ninja Creamy. I know it takes up a lot of counter space, but I've been using it so much that I just decided to leave it out. So let me share with you first, and I hope y'all laugh. I'm not hating on Ninja Creamy. This is the 1500 recipes for beginners in advance with ice cream mix-in, shakes, sorbets, smoothies, and more. Full color edition. And when I looked at it, I'm like, did y'all print that in your basement on a mimeograph machine? But let me tell you, it's about $14. It's pretty thin, but the content is really good. I'm not crazy about the format. So, pineapple sorbet, y'all. So amazing. So what do? Well, you open a can of pineapple and you put it in your little creamy cup and you freeze it for 24 hours. Voila, that's it. So I've shared that I have a lot of store-bought canned fruit. Y'all, I used to keep a lot of store canned fruit for my mom. And then when mom was no longer with us, then I inherited more. So I'm trying to get through some of this. This might have been past its best by date. So let me share these new containers. So depending on the model you have, and I have a 501, will depend on the type of container. So they're different for different models, because there's like the 300 series, I think, and a 500 series. I don't know about 4. So if you see water spots, I ran these through the dishwasher. I'm hoping it works perfectly well. So for 4 of these, but what I really like is they give you a bunch of different color lids. So I chose yellow for pineapple. You know, so it makes it a little easier to tell what you have frozen apart. Pardon me. Y'all, I'll probably hiccup till the day I die. So I really like that feature. Oh, Lordy. And 2 for my model of these replacement canisters, and they just come with the boring gray lids, were $29. 4, and I will leave a link to the cookbook as well as the replacement containers for my Ninja, so please be sure. But guys, Amazon is full of knockoff containers. I'm very pleased with the quality of these, and I wondered why they sent the extra lids, but I will say I've been a little bit concerned as I've taken the lids off and on the Ninja brand containers, that with all the freezing and thawing, that it might, you know, develop a crack. So it's nice to have a couple extra. So what this says is freeze for 24 hours, put it into the outer bowl, push sorbet. It will take about 2 minutes. Now, I have seen a lot of people who have the Ninjas, the 300 series, have to, do them multiple times. I have not found that, y'all. Yeah, usually one and done with me. Sometimes, so it takes me 4 to 5 times to eat a pint of whatever, just because I limit myself, right? Sometimes by the last spin, it's a little bit more granular and a little bit more icy, but I'm only going to eat what I'm going to eat. So simple, y'all. Put it in, turn it to the right until it clicks. Turn on the power. It's full. We are going to do sorbet, and this is super loud. Mine says 4 minutes, so I will cut off here, but I'll bring you back and we'll do a taste test together. I did not blend up the pineapple first because it didn't say to, so shall we pray? All right, guys. All right, now let's push the release button, turn it, pull it straight down. Then there's a release button on the lid. I fiddled with it at first. Ooh, now that does look a little bit, okay, super powdery. So I think we're gonna do a second. It's really good though. But I think we'll do a second spin. See, I had to go say second spin, but it's good. Sit in there. Oops, it won't respin. Okay. Now, don't be afraid to respin. I think all of them have respin buttons on them. But look at the difference. Nice, creamy. So it might have made a difference had I blended or pureed up the pineapple, but let's give it a taste. Wow, that is good. Very pineapple. It's tangy, but it's not puckery tangy. You know, this is a great treat when you want some ice cream, but you don't have it, or you just don't want all of the sugar, butter, fat, additives, etc. I mean, this is just fruit and fruit juice, so you could do it with your homegrown fruit as well. I feel some strawberry sorbet coming on this summer, maybe some raspberry. So back here, all of our snacks we prepared today, minus the grapefruit juice. And a couple of you, don't worry, I won't say anybody's name, have reached out to me privately and said, what diet are you following? Well, I'm not really following a diet. What I'm doing is what the diabetes doctor recommended, which is I need to lose weight. She keeps saying that, and she's still saying that, but it's true. 1,200 calories, 33 grams of fat. I tried using apps, y'all, and I am just a paper person. I started dreading, like, oh, I gotta find my phone. Oh, I have to look this up. And it can be kind of tough in an app too, because I make so many things from scratch that you're not gonna find in an app. So how do I get it on paper? Well, I have to do a guesstimate. So let me show you a blank day. So it has up here, your wake up and bedtime, what your main goal is, your energy level, your mood, your weight, place to track water. That's never a problem for me. And then you can list out everything you ate, any activity you did. And I like having this dedicated separate journal to keep track of things, because I find when you look at it on paper, you're like, oh, I'm getting near my calorie limit for the day. Just to give you an example, rarely eat out. A girlfriend and I went out this week and she got pizza, but it's Pizza Hut pizza melts. So it's like, looks like a 10-inch tortilla pizza crust folded in half. So like a calzone with cheese and pepperoni. And I'm like, how many calories can that really have? So I go on their website. Are you sitting down, y'all? 1,150. And I'm like, I'll be having half. So it's just a good way to keep yourself aware. It comes with some stickers. Gotta love the stickers, right? So today, while I was making this video, I ate 4 mini pretzels and a tablespoon of hummus. So I tracked that. That if you're at a plateau, which I was at a very long plateau, you're probably, and I wasn't tracking, I was guesstimating. You may be getting calories that you don't even realize are adding up, like a little bite of this, a little extra of that. So that's my suggestion to you. I hope that answers questions. So I am going to go finish this up. Well, not finish it up, oh my word. Talk about being over. So I'll have to look up how much, like a 1/4 can of Dole pineapple in its own juice, how many calories are. I'll add that. So, and some days I go over my 1,200, y'all. I'm just going to be completely honest. But finding alternatives like this, that feels like a really decadent treat to me. Not being a chocolate lover helps, is really nice. If I really, really wanted something that was calorie dense, I think I would just have, limit myself to, I'll have 3 bites or something. I hate wasting food, but my health is important as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you would, do me a big favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to leave me a comment below. What ideas do you have for snacks if you're still participating in the 3 Rivers Challenge? I would love to hear, because I am all about the snacks sometimes. All right, guys, I will see you a little later this week, but until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.